Namaskar, friends. Wishing you all a very happy new year. Hope you all had good time and quite excited about 2024. It seems to be quite challenging times globally. So, a small tip for the new year. Although times are tough, but righteousness, choosing to do right, keeping ethics and integrity intact, helping whoever we can, or helping the needy, following our dharma, religion devotedly, we can keep our Saturn and Ketu strong. So always remember that. Today we will talk about second house in your Kundali, also known as the Kutumba Bhava or Dhana Bhava. The natural karaka for second house is Jupiter, signifying family and wealth. So let's understand our second house. What does the second house mean? What are the significations of your second house? What areas of life are covered by your second house? Our second house is our home environment, our growing up years. It represents our primary education, our immediate family members, our ability to earn, our financial status, and our accumulated wealth. It also tells about your values, your ethics, your personal wealth, resources. The analysis of second house also indicates which relatives of yours will be a source of support in future. So where will you get help from as far as your relatives are concerned? So this is also a house of speech, the way you communicate, your verbal, your facial expression, which also means Mercury. So this is also Annasthana. It tells about your food habits. So when you look at second house, check what planets are posited in your second house and check where is the lord of second house posited. So these are the two things that you need to look and what we are going to discuss today. So first I will talk about planets in second house and then we will look at second house lord's positions. So you need to look at your chart from both angles. Now, benefic planets in second house makes a native sweet talker, gives them good wealth. If there is malefic planet in second house, it can make a native harsh speaker and can give financial difficulty. Now let's take an example. If native has sun in second house and it's exalted or friendly sign, then they get good support from their father, as sun represents father. If sun is strongly placed, it brings self-respect, lot of independence, and you tend to represent the family values, the family wealth, etc. And as far as food habits are concerned, such natives prefer good food. I mean, by good food I mean rich food, variety. But if sun is an enemy sign, it can cause loss of wealth. And people with sun in second house, they might have a scar on their face. And if Sun and Rahu both are posited in second house, it can give stomach problems. They might have frequent diarrhea. Often stomach of such natives will be upset. Now, Jupiter in second house. If you have Jupiter there, the native will prefer variety of cuisines. They will have an abundant eating style. They will prefer a lot of dishes. And if your Jupiter is well placed in second house, it signifies positive harmony in relationship with the relatives, and it can also give good business skills. It also signifies good primary education. But if your Jupiter is afflicted, it can mean financial challenges and obstacles in your earlier education. It can also make you quite selfish. If you have Venus in second house, the native will prefer food which must look good to eat. So beside taste, how the food is served, how the food is presented, it should look pleasing to eyes. And they love to enjoy flavors and smells. They also have harmonious relationship with the family members. They get good support of their spouse. But if Venus is afflicted, it can make you a spendthrift and it can cause considerable troubles for you. Saturn in second house, preference will be for simple and routine food, and they would prefer nutritional food. And Saturn in second house will make native very responsible. They will have a sense of duty towards their family members, but it brings some challenges too. It can make them very careful in spending money. They get good support of the grandparents. Saturn represents elderly relatives. So they get good support of elders in the family. The native's income grows over time with hard work and determination. The downside is they may not get satisfaction that they want from their profession. Now, moon in second house, as far as food is concerned, beside other things, it should have some emotional connect. You will often hear them saying, "Maa ke haath ka khana." They prefer home cooked food, and they have very supportive mothers, and they're good looking, they're wealthy, they're famous. But if moon is badly inflicted, it can even give food addiction. So such people will end up overeating. Also, if moon is aspected by Mercury, it can give loss of wealth. So you have to understand the moon cycles, the ups and downs, fluctuations as well when you're looking at this combination. Mars in second house, they prefer spicy, fried kind of food more, and they might have preference for non-veg food if they eat non-veg. They get good support from their younger siblings or co-born. They're confident, ambitious, they're independent, and they might get very aggressive or rude if their Mars is afflicted. So, and if the native has Mercury in second house, such natives generally prefer leafy greens in food and quite open to try different kinds of foods, cuisines. So they will often like to check what is new in this restaurant. So they would prefer to order new dishes. A well placed Mercury in second house can suggest that they have very good communication, open communication, well connected family. They get good support from their uncles, and they're quite good at organizing events. Now, Mercury in second house, if aspected by moon, can cause loss of wealth. But if you have Mercury plus Venus, and which is aspected by Jupiter, it's a rare combination, and it can give you awesome wealth. Now, Rahu in second house is considered auspicious in money matters. It can give unexpected monetary benefits, but you have to control the urge to spend, as it you may go overboard with the expenses. It can make you spend thrift as well. Ketu in second house may lead to financial issues. And on top of it, if your second house happens to be a watery sign, we have gone through these Kara Tattvas in earlier videos. You may want to check that. If your second house happens to be a watery sign, maybe, for example, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, such person holds a grudge too deep and they're very, very intense. But if you have Jupiter with Ketu in second house, then it will reduce or negate the ill effects of Ketu. Your second house rules your face, your oral cavity, your right eye. It is also known as the house of death house, Maraka house. So, Dasha of second house Lord needs to be carefully evaluated for the same. And in worldly matters, it represents nation's wealth, economic development, etc. In Kal Purusha chart, which is the second house, it is Taurus. Aries is the first house, second house is a Taurus sign. Venus and Jupiter become natural significators for the second house if your Lagna is Aries. So that's how you need to check for your second house. Areas like savings, planning your budget, and how you're managing your debts, everything is influenced by your second house. If you have concern related to these, you need to check your second house and do the remedies. Now let's talk about second house Lord in various houses. Check where is your second house Lord sitting. It is in which house. Now if your second house Lord is sitting in your first house, that is in your Lagna, such natives earn money with their own efforts, in their own way, in their own style. They tend to be quite egoistic. They may not be very fond of relatives, especially if it is inflicted. The only exception to it is which one? Any guesses? The only exception is if your Lagna is Capricorn. And if your Lagna is Capricorn, your second house is Aquarius. And both these houses have common Lagna Lord. So this is a good combination. So they generally manage to make good wealth over time if they have this combination, and they speak well, and they mostly live longer than their spouse. If second house Lord is sitting in second house itself. Such natives are blessed financially. They have good looks, good eyesight, good teeth. They have natural benefit if they have natural benefic planets or influence. And there is also high possibility for such native to be involved in family business or food related businesses. If it is inflicted, they may have dental and eye problem. So check your charts if you have this combination. I have this combination. If second house lord is sitting in third house, such native benefits through their siblings, their close friends. Such person may make money through sales, marketing, advertising, and you will find this combination generally in the charts of actors, painters, media people. Their work may also involve short distance frequent travels, and these natives are quite good in public speaking, and also they enjoy local frequent dining, so they love to eat out. If your second house lord is sitting in fourth house, such native wealth is generally derived from their family or home. If second house lord is exalted in second house, or if it is with Jupiter and Venus, the person is said to be equivalent to king. It's an excellent combination. They gain through real estate, and they prefer home cooked food, and family recipes are very, very significant for them. If your second house lord is sitting in fifth house, they generally make good money through investments and speculative activities, shares, bonds. Their children generally follow the family tradition, values, and they generally enjoy celebrations in the family. They will have a lot of events, a lot of parties. And if your second house lord in sixth house, second house lord in sixth house, the native would be in service or job. It's a Shatru Bhava. So there might be property litigations, health issues. Sixth house is house of debts and litigation. But it doesn't mean that it will always give bad effects. If there is a benefic planet placement in this house along with the second lord, then the native might make money even through enemies. Let's take an example. If your second house lord is sun, and sun is placed in sixth house and the sun is exalted, such natives win over his or her enemies. Good combination to have. If second house lord is in seventh house, it shows gain through spouse, through partnerships. They accumulate wealth through partnerships and spouse. Second house is also a house of attraction. So if any malefic influence, it can make a person unfaithful in marriage or relationships. Next is if second house lord is in eighth house. It can give financial losses and debts to the native. There is also possibility of speech issue, shyness in public speaking. Eighth house is also a house of sudden gain, sudden rise and sudden fall. Hence, if Lord of House of Wealth is in eighth house, it can give sudden gains also. It all depends on what is the dasha running and other favorable planetary placements. So you may want to check that. If the second house lord is in ninth house, such person is blessed financially. Such person has prosperous family. The parents are financially well off. Parents are supportive. Native also may earn through foreign resources and investments. They have good higher education degree. Initial years of their childhood might be of sickness, but as the time passes, they gain good health later. Now, if your second house lord is in 10th house, what is your 10th house? The 10th house is karma house. The native with second house lord in 10th house, they might be having career related to money or finance. So, and they might also be deprived of happiness from their father. If the second lord, house lord is in 11th house, such natives generally have influential and wealthy connections. They majorly earn money through networking and associations. And if second house, which is the house of accumulated wealth, whereas the 11th house is a house of gain and fulfillment of desire. Hence, second house lord in 11th house leads to gains and savings. It's a wonderful combination to have. Now, if the second house lord is in 12th house, you need to be careful. Now, 12th house is a house of loss and expenses. It's a challenging placement. It can make a person dependent on others over time, especially in the later years of life. So please be careful. Start plan if you have this combination, plan your savings well ahead of time. 12th house also signifies overseas travels, foreign connections. So native might make money from foreign resources. So this is all about second house. You can check your charts, what planets you have in second house and where is your second house lord is sitting. In next video, I will cover the third house, the Sahaja Bhava, the house of connections, connectivity, communication and a lot more. So we will decode that in our next video. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet so that you do not miss any upcoming videos. Thank you. Namaskar.